Welcome to the products module. In this module, we will break down the overarching concept of products in the marketing landscape. We'll learn about the different types of products as well as classifications, in addition to the development of product mixes, lines, and items, as well as the product development life cycle as we learn more about each step and learn to list each step in the development life cycle. So let's take a look. Products can be divided into three subsets. Number one is products. Seems simple, connected to the title, right? But products are our tangible items. An example of a product purchase is going to the store to buy an item. So let's say we decide we're extra thirsty and we love to buy a Coke. So we go to a convenience store, we buy the item. That is an actual product purchase. In addition to products, we have services. These are our intangible items. Maybe you decide that you just need to get your car serviced. Maybe it's time for an oil change. So you go to the dealership to have an oil change completed on your vehicle. While there are some products within that, ultimately you are purchasing a service or an intangible item, meaning you can't actually own it or touch it. And the last concept in the product category is the customer experience, or we sometimes call it EX. The customer experience is a tough one because the customer experience relates directly to the feeling you get when you enter the store. This is where we're taking a step past the products and services that we offer within our business or organization and moving into the experience that creates the brand loyalty. In this module, we will learn more about each and continue to connect it to the 4 P's of marketing. Now that we've introduced the varieties of different products that fall within our product landscape, it may seem super simplistic. But in reality, products, services, and experiences fall within a product continuum as outlined in our textbook. When we look at the continuum on this end, the far left, we have products. And as we move to the far right, we have services. We can often say that some products may fall to the far left or to the far right, but in reality, many fall within the middle. So let's take styling products for an example. Let's say you have a favorite shampoo or conditioner that you've always purchased. You love that product. You go into a retailer like a Target or a Sephora to purchase, and you walk in and you simply buy the item to take home. That's a product, right? Now, as we start to look at this, let's say you go to the salon. Let's say it's an Amika-based product and your hairstylist loves to use that product. So you go into the salon, maybe you have your hair styled, they're using products off the shelf and you're getting a service, but you're kind of in the middle. Very similar to our service or our oil change on our vehicle. That often will fall within the middle of the continuum. But let's say that you have decided that you love hairstyling and that you want to become a stylist on your own. You want to learn what it takes to enter this profession as a professional, and you want to get an education. And let's say you come to Blue Ridge Community College and enter the cosmetology program. That is an example of a full-on service because you're learning how to do that to complete that service. So products and services, customer experiences really do fall within the continuum, and it's important to note where they fall. In this module, we will learn more about each, and you'll get to test your knowledge as you move through a little quiz in the middle of the module. Now, products also have classifications. They can be classified as consumer or industrial products, but for the nature of this discussion, we're going to focus on consumer products. Consumer products are further broken down into subsets. Number 1 is convenience. Now, a convenience product is a product purchased frequently. It requires little to no thought and is something you just pick up. It's often a low-cost product and a low-involvement decision. Think detergent, toothpaste, maybe even toilet paper. Now, a shopping product is kind of a low to middle involvement decision. It's often a little bit more expensive It's something that may be slightly connected to your status or personal overall expression, self-expression, but it isn't really a high involvement decision. The third classification is specialty. A specialty product is often a status-based product. It's something we have to go to a designated retailer to purchase. It moves up to a middle to high involvement decision-making purchase and is often more expensive. And the last classification product is the unsought product. Remember, the unsought product is a product that we really don't want to think about. It's one that is often not brought to our attention until the last minute and something we have to think about. It is often a higher dollar item purchase and a high involvement decision making process. And unsought products include funeral services, life insurance, and other requirements of being an adult, but are often products that we don't want to think about. Now that we've taken the opportunity to differentiate between products, services, and experience and learn more about classification of products, let's take an opportunity to learn more about the development of a product mix. And within a product mix, we have product lines and product items, and we'll learn more about these in this module. But to set the tone, let's start here. So a product mix is all products offered by a company. And an example we will use within the module is Coke. So all products offered by Coke. Now, product lines are often small business units or SBUs within the overall product mix matrix. In the example of Coke, we have Coke, we have Diet Coke, we have Sprite, we have Simply Orange, and the list goes on. Each of these is a separate product line within the overall product mix. And lastly, we have product items. An example of a product item would be Coke, Cherry Coke, Coke Zero, single items that comprise a product line, and product lines make up the overall product mix. Let's quickly put it into action. Let's go back to our Coke example and develop a quick product mix table. Students will have the opportunity to do this in more detail and do a bit of additional research on your own in this mini module. In this product mix table, we are going to develop the product lines and items of the overall Coke product mix. To begin, let's develop the product matrix. As Coke is very diverse and has a very large and very wide product mix, we will do a simplified version here. So for this example, we will use Coke. We will use Honest Kids. And let's also use Sprite. So these are each headers for a product line within the overall product matrix for Coke. Now within Coke, we have Coke, Coke Zero, and the flavors in between. We even have Cherry Coke. Honest Kids has Honest Apple. It has Honest Fruit Punch, Honest Lemonade, and so much more. And lastly, we have Sprite. And within Sprite, we have Sprite. We have Sprite Zero. And then, of course, all of the seasonal Sprite flavorings. And please keep in mind that I'm not including all product items within this overall product matrix. I'm just giving you a basic list, and this list would go on. But as we start to look at this, we see that we have these product lines or these small business units that make up the overall product matrix. And so this becomes the depth of the product mix. And this becomes the width of the product matrix. Now the list goes on, like I said, for Coke, but Coke begins to add depth through the product mix to better meet consumer needs, wants, and desires. If consumers get used to maybe a seasonal Coke flavoring every holiday season, that could be a product item that they may add to the overall depth of the product line as a limited offering to spark consumer interest. Now, when it comes to the width of the product development table or the product mix, this is a different discussion. So the addition of Honest Kids may be surprising, or Simply Orange, or the wealth of sports-related offerings, water, etc. that Coke carries within their product mix. But businesses and organizations often expand their product lines or their product mix table to add new market opportunities, to potentially pursue a new market or targeted customer segment, to add diversity within their offerings, as well as to spread the risk across the entire product mix table, with the goal that when one product line might be down, another product line may be up. Now, each is developed into a small business unit or product line to assist in marketing efforts. Because when we begin to think about the target audience for Coke, it is probably vastly different than the target audience for Honest Kids. I look forward to seeing your assignments as you all continue to look at product mix lines and tables and dive into your research into the Coke brand. The last topic that we will address in this module is the product development life cycle. That bell curve is going to come back into the discussion again. So in the product development life cycle, we introduce the new product, right? That is the first stage. The product has been introduced to the marketplace, consumer awareness is increasing, and we're still spending quite a bit on marketing to increase brand awareness. Now, as product sales, manufacturing, and production increase, we move into the growth stage. This is where profit is high. Manufacturing costs begin to reduce due to economies of scale. We still have quite a bit of marketing spending, but consumer interest and brand awareness is high. After growth, we move into maturity. Remember the top of the bell curve. This is where we kind of shift our marketing mix quite a bit. We start to reduce our marketing spending. At this point, we're really focusing on consumer brand switching, as the majority of the market is aware of our product or service. And then lastly, as the product kind of moves to the end of the life cycle, we move into a stage of decline. And this is where we have to kind of question what we do with the product. Do we reposition, repackage, or ultimately divest that product or service? Now, the intro stage, when we go to layer that BCG model, right, we're going back to our early modules, we have our star products, right? Our products that are introduced to the marketplace, moving through the product development life cycle curve. From introduction, we move to growth, and this is where we start to move into our cash cows, right? Our cash cows that are bringing in the revenue, they're kind of self-developing through the life cycle curve, and they need limited to no focus from us. Now, as we move through those cash cows, kind of start to round the bell curve, we move into our question marks or our problem children, where we have to decide what we do with it. Is it repackaged? Is it repurposed? Or is it ultimately divested? And lastly, remember, as we move into our decline, we have our dogs. So this is just a quick example of continuing to layer our product life cycle curve and our different models as we move throughout the course. This concludes our quick introduction to products. I look forward to reading your assignments as you move throughout application of the concepts learned in this online module.